Trey Rentz, and this is my friend
Joseph Coatney.
And this is the critically acclaimed show, Rennie and Doc. I being Rennie, and you being the great doctor of medicine. You gave it up. We've talked about it before, but we wanted to be regular, everyday people, commoners, you know, like the masses. And I guess we should probably talk about the elephant in the room. And yes, it's true. We did get new microphones.
Trey got new microphones.
Well, I got new microphones.
Sat at home and did nothing.
But yes, so we got new microphones. Now the actual, yes, we are wearing suits, and it is a special occasion because it's a Saturday. And, you know, I feel, I might as well just be honest about my feeling, is that I feel special and yet odd. Oddly special, especially odd.
Okay.
In the suit.
Yeah.
And it's not that I feel bad. I actually kind of feel a sense of, hey, like I feel like I should sit up more.
It does something. Yeah, it does something to you.
And you were telling me, we might as well tell a story about your day with the suit, because I've only worn it at home, so I can't.
I had an odd 10, 20 minutes before I got here when I've already told you this, but I stopped at the gas station.
For the world, Joe!
And I stopped at the gas station, get my beverage, my caffeine.
Yeah.
And there was quite a bit of people there, and there was a guy behind me with a gas tank, like the little that you fill up your car with.
Right.
So I'm thinking, this guy's having a bad day. He's probably broke down on the side of the road.
Sure.
He needs some gas.
It's a good thought.
And I said, you can go ahead of me. And he looked shocked. And he said, why?
This is the funny part, yeah.
And I said, you look like you're having a worse day than me, man. And he went, why are you being nice to me? And
he said that.
He said it, and he wouldn't go in front of me.
Right.
He didn't go in front of me. It's weird.
It's funny because the contrast that I've noticed, and I think you have too, of the general population is that everybody's kind of an asshole and they're two strangers.
Yeah.
Not to their people that they like, but that contrast of the black and white of that, of you typically somebody goes, they won't even say anything to you, or if you offer, they go, no. But that stands out to be very odd. And so I blame the power of the suit. Or not blame is the bad word, but
it might be, I didn't even think of that. It might be a double whammy because I was in the suit and people aren't usually nice. So he was probably just like, I uppercutted him in the chin.
Hold on. Did the suit give you a new feeling of, I should...
No, I do that anyway.
Oh.
I hold doors for people. I cuss them out if they don't say thank you or reach for the door.
Right.
But I do
now,
hold
do you
the door.
say it loud enough for them to hear? Is it an under the breath type of thing?
It's getting louder as I age.
I kind of feel the same way. But anyways. Lenny ways. I thought we could get into some videos.
Okay.
As we typically do on the show.
This one looks promising.
Well, I don't even want to talk about that. I was hiding it because I wanted to get your... I mean, you've seen it, but I thought it was funny. I thought that they might have not seen it. But the sheer annoyance of this man. Oh, I thought we were missing something.
His face. Every time.
Oh. Now, I brought this up because the first episode we talked about, you love the Beatles, but especially love John Lennon.
Yes.
But John Lennon had a tick or a leech or something like a boil on his anus.
It's funny to me
because...
Her
name was Yoko Ono.
Yeah, it's funny because to me, like, even if you're not a fan, like, he was a really good songwriter.
Sure.
Good musician, good singer.
Yeah.
And he obviously knew when it was bad.
Yes.
And yet... he's like, this is fine.
Could it be the power? You know, men do a lot of things and sacrifice a lot of things and look past a lot of things when it comes to the women that they love.
Yeah.
Or women that they want. So is it a lot of that?
It could be because she did what she called performance art.
Right.
And so he might not have thought it was bad singing. He might have...
There's some pieces of this video, they've cut it up into shorter bits. But where Chuck Berry literally goes,
I know.
Oh, boy.
He's just about
so
quits.
Funny.
Yeah. And I've played gigs where my singer was drunk.
Right.
And pushed through it better than that. Yeah.
Well, you got to give it to Chuck Berry because... Or do you? Should you say something in those kind of situations? I don't even know.
I think that he did a protest with his face. He's basically like, I'm rocking and rolling. I do not approve of this.
And somebody going,
yeah.
the background.
So he's just made a
bongos.
statement like, hey,
I bet they even turned her microphone down too at some point. But I
think I've watched the whole concert, and I think they do turn her microphone down.
There is one thing. You sent me this personally, but this encompassed what I was talking about the last time, where people are just bad at their jobs.
Yes.
And I wanted to go over this again because this has to be in a different country. I mean, because not. Joe.
It's going to keep it from falling over, Trey.
What is that made of? Rope? Where's the wire? Where's the bolts?
What is that, like a tulip they tied it to?
That's the kind of stuff. I mean, it's not that funny because people die because of that kind of stuff, but it is the...
Well, if you were at that gig and you were in the front row seat, you'd see these ropes going down. You'd assume that somebody knew what they were doing.
Down perfect. Yeah. It's secure.
Yeah,
and we feel good about it. Oh, here's another one. This is the last one. I think I've sent you this before. But
I think you did.
Just the not good at your job. Oh,
Lord.
boy. I mean, come on.
You need
it
some
just
milk.
keeps going. That's the comedy.
Go.
And people don't. Well, I don't. What do you think that is? Because we've all worked with idiots.
Well, first of all, they stacked those pallets much
they
too
are
high.
pretty high. That's true.
But I've seen a lot of really bad ones where it's operator error. Not that was probably not his fault.
That's not his forte.
I bet that would have happened if I was driving that forklift. But
it could have happened, but maybe if you, I mean, obviously they're stacked that way, and somebody can do it because they had to get up there somehow. God didn't just make it that way, or the chimps didn't write it. The Shakespeare thing.
All my years in retail, I've seen stuff like that. I always take it upon myself to read all of the workplace guidelines and stuff so that
I remember you saying that.
I can stay safe.
Right.
There was these steel shelves in the back of the retail store that I worked in that were probably 30 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And then we would stack pallets on top of those. And the shelves, somebody had, I guess, hit it with the forklift or something, but it has this little notch that slides in and then down to hold the shelf.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And it was like that. With
just
pallets.
There.
With pallets sitting
hanging
on top
on
of it.
by a hope and a prayer.
And my manager came to me and said, I need you to get a hammer and get up there on a ladder and try to knock that in.
No.
And I said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that manager
I said,
was
you
an
do
idiot.
it. You do it.
That's the kind of thing where you have to lift, and I don't know why we're talking about work, but we lift. We can't get enough of it. It's our favorite thing. So you lift up and then push in. Mm-hmm. It's not just a pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right, enough of that.
Yeah.
This is what I really wanted to get into because I think it ties into the suit. There is something called fear.
I've heard of it.
And I think I think anxiety is a part of fear. Wouldn't you say so? Is that fair?
It's like a It's like
a low level.
Yeah.
Constant
it's
fear?
almost like a fear of fear.
Ooh.
It's a precursor.
Fear itself is what you fear. All right. So, this only came up. I was really wondering about what we were going to talk about today, but this came up in my feed, and it was anxiety provoking.
No, I don't like it already. Holy God, nope.
And I couldn't
do that.
The sheer will. Now, some people have like just baseline is like low care, but
I'm not claustrophobic, but when you add that water,
yeah,
nope.
But people do it. I mean, people did it. I mean,
if I was in a room that was flooding and that was the only escape, I don't know if I could bring myself to do that.
I thought the same thing. Oh, it's like Andy Dufresne in The Shawshank. Did you see that movie? Surely you saw that movie. He crawled miles, Joe.
I know.
Or something like that. Yards. Feet.
Feet.
Centimeters. But he got in there. That may be I don't know when that was taken.
I wouldn't even feel close to having my rifle that close to my face.
That's true. I was thinking, he shot himself. Oh, that way. Can't say that on YouTube, but we did it. Anyways, here's another one.
If you can't get through this, you're not getting in this cave. This is tighter than
I'm not getting in that cave. Nope.
I'd rather die.
My brother sent me a news article where a guy was underwater cave diving, and it was underwater though, so he's got the gear.
An underwater cave dive that was
Can
underwater?
you believe it?
What the
and
heck?
there was water. and anyway, he was doing something like that,
Yeah.
and his tank got stuck, and he
boy.
died.
Well, that is the thing that does happen. But he has to, when they do this, I am from Russia. When they do this, they have to breathe every bit of their lung capacity
To
out.
what end?
For the thrill of the game.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I'm impressed by people that climb mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
But I just why? Why? It's one thing when you're exploring and expanding your country, your frontiers.
Oh, when you,
But
yeah.
those people they're still climbing Everest. Why? There's dead bodies littered all the way up it.
There's a sense of accomplishment, not unlike the cold plunge at a lower level tier. But there's something there. But
I just don't understand it. I'm impressed.
I'm not, because you don't need to.
Yeah.
Those are the same people that died for no reason.
I'm the kind of guy that goes, there's a mountain in the way. Let's blow a hole through it and make a tunnel.
That's true. But we all like the tunnel. But the thing I wanted to get to, and the only reason I wanted to talk about this is something that I think about sometimes, but this brought it up, is fear, anxiety, and the idea, well, to bring it back to the suits, I'll just do that. There is a certain type, and I'll even liken it to the mustache. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think for at least me, I'll speak for myself. So going out in a suit, now I haven't worn a suit in probably 20 years, and I feel fine in it. Mm-hmm. I feel a little bit, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
And that bothers me. That kind of gives me anxiety, except that I know that I probably look either okay to good to great to some people. Fine.
Yeah.
But it's that weird. I can't describe it any other way. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm really trying here. And then the same with the mustache. The reason I wore a mustache is because I felt like a puss. The idea of wearing a mustache, I thought, oh boy, what are people going to think?
Yeah.
People don't like mustaches. Some people, it's like a divisive thing. And the same with the suit. Like you walking out with the suit, I would have a hard time going to pump gas in the suit unless I was going to a trial or a business meeting. But I became a while ago, and a lot of people don't agree with this, but I think the science brings it out, is immersion therapy is one of the best things for you to get over a fear.
Okay.
And I say that because, well, I don't say it because, but it's the same thing with the mustache, the suit, the cold plunge.
Yeah.
Doing and going, ooh, crap, I don't want to do this. Whether it's a low level anxiety to, oh, I hate snakes. I think the best way, and I think the literature says it also, is to maybe not immerse yourself. Oh, that's one thing, immersion therapy, but then exposure therapy.
Yeah.
So maybe start with exposure therapy and then begin with immersion therapy. I think that people don't like that idea, even though it works. It's almost like counterintuitive.
I think that I'm proof of that in reverse.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Well, at my old job, I had to climb ladders probably 50 feet in the air quite often. And carrying stuff on my shoulders.
Right.
And I would just, no problem.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you're not a height guy.
I didn't used to be. I used to climb up on the roof of my house when I was a kid.
You obtained it.
I think after I quit that job, I don't have to get on anything taller than a step stool anymore.
Yeah.
Now I've got I get vertigo. I was at an estate sale with my wife.
Call that fear though. That's an equilibrium thing.
I don't know.
Like
we were at an estate sale and we were on the second floor and there was a flight of stairs. Didn't have a handrail. I literally had to sit down on my rump.
You got a rumpus.
And scoot
down
the first couple of stairs because I was so terrified I was going to fall, which is weird.
You got a thing
as
there.
A grown man.
You got a little phobia there.
Yeah. So I think I think that just me not being on heights.
Do you think it's maybe getting older? You're just more aware of the dangers, and when you're a kid, you're more stupid.
Could be.
Just
because I was driving home the other night, and I drove past that hill by the bank right there by the library. I used to skateboard down that.
Oh boy, that's steep.
And you get stupid fast on that.
Yeah.
And just looking at that sidewalk as I drove past it, I had like, whoa, that was dumb. I can't believe I used to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been. I don't like heights. I can get over it, and I don't like fast. I don't like anything.
We're sedentary.
Any movement I hate. It's
yeah.
just I like to be stationary and sit and hang out and have
I think
soda pop.
That's rational. I think any human would do that, given the chance.
No, well, some people love that crap.
Yeah, people climbing mountains and
But
crawling into caves.
I did want to. This is just Jordan Peterson talking a little bit about the exposure therapy. We'll watch just like a minute of it.
I don't think I've seen this.
It's true with cognitive behavioral therapy, just like psychoanalytic therapy. It's all the same thing. And also, the other axiom of therapy is voluntarily expose yourself in measured doses to what you're afraid of. Mm-hmm. And so that's an interesting thing, because the psychoanalysts believed when the behaviorists first came up with exposure therapy, they had it formulated wrong. They thought you learned to be afraid. So you're normal, and then something hurts you, and then you learn to be afraid of it. That's wrong. You're always
It goes against
afraid,
what you said.
except when you learn not to. So they had it exactly backwards neuropharmacologically, and it really matters. This matters.
This is interesting.
That doesn't mean you can't learn some fears. You can, but mostly you unlearn terror. Right? So children are afraid to get away from their mother. It's because they're afraid of the entire world.
That's true. There's like
Well,
an
you have to
innate
learn
fear.
how not to.
Yeah.
Just
And you don't learn that
living
by
in the world.
habituation.
Well, I mean, like I said, I
That
grew
was the
up
idea.
climbing
So
trees
you
and getting on the roof of the house and the
Right.
garage. So, I mean, I don't
But
know.
you fear the monster under the bed,
Yeah.
and that seems to be kind of a widespread type of.
That's definitely not a learned fear.
Yeah, because you didn't. I mean, it's not like you saw it and you go, "Oh, remember 1987?"
There was a monster. I saw it under the bed.
But it is interesting that it's a part of growing up, and I mean, maybe I didn't think about this before, but it's kind of this culture of coddling people, and especially kids. Like, you kind of have to. The thing that they're afraid of, I think it's good for them to do the thing.
Yeah.
And the same with adults. I mean, I think it might be easier with kids because they're not like stone set in their ways of
That's true.
all these years of the same fear and not confronting it. But like, you should do things like even the show, the first episode, we both were like, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
what do we do?" And we wanted to do something, but then what do you do? And now here we're wearing suits in front of this 3 cameras and talking, philosophy and psychology, psychiatry, whatever. So I think that the brain doesn't want you to do stuff, but you have to
I think
force it.
it wants to stay in a safe place, whatever that may be.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it likes safety. It likes ease. That's why people get fat so easy, because if you don't have to work for food, then that's what all animals are like that too.
I've always thought that was interesting because modern food is still relatively new.
Right.
And so we were programmed to basically eat all the calories we can.
As much as you could get.
And especially like sweet stuff, because that's really rare. You
Right.
found some honey.
That's true.
Get that shit is. And but so now
That's
you gotta,
why we bleep stuff, Joe. Just say it.
and then
don't be
so
afeared.
you got a bowl of candy sitting there. It's really hard for your brain wants to go like, hey, eat it.
Yeah, it's
eat
hard,
it.
especially mixed with fat. There's a whole book about this. I think it's called Fat, Sugar, Salt, or Fat, Salt, Sugar, whatever.
That's a really catchy title.
But no, I didn't know we were going to talk about nutrition. But yeah,
Let's not go down that road then.
but yeah, it's
It's
formulated to be enticing on every level, like almost addictive in a way. But yeah.
But I mean, even if you were like a hunter-gatherer and you found a cave, you stayed the night there, had a fire, it'd probably be hard to motivate yourself. You got to go back out and you got to hunt. But
Nobody wants to do anything.
No,
Just imagine
no.
Grog in the cave going, "Oh, another day."
yeah,
Oh, I'm so tired of it. Talking to his wife, saying, "Oh, do I have to really get up?" And she says, "Yes, I'll clean the cave. Go." They're Jewish. So it is, though. You have to kind of. I think life is all about working against yourself.
yeah,
You think that's true?
yeah.
Like you want to do this. I want I mean, you talk about the animalistic pleasures. You want to do all those things, but you teach yourself, or your parents first teach you, and then you take over to go against everything you want to do.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. Life is weird in that way.
It's like you have to have like a reward to push through these things you don't want to do or you're scared to do. I saw, I'm going to quote David Bowie here. I'm sure he didn't coin this phrase, but he was talking about being creative, and he said you should never be doing anything where you feel safe. You should always be where your feet are just barely touching the bottom, and that's the only place you can really
that little
make
bit of
anything.
danger.
Yeah, and I think that just is life.
That does make sense.
Because if you're just always doing what's safe and comfortable,
but that's what you want, though.
It is
that's
what you
the
want.
Interesting
Yeah.
thing. Why is the brain like that?
I don't know.
I mean, we all like pleasure.
It's weird because I moved not that long ago, and there's a lot of it's my home, but I'm in a strange land now.
Stranger in a strange land.
And so I would go out at night, and you just feel you don't know your neighbors, and there was probably about 5-6 months there where I just didn't feel comfortable there. Any
that
weird
long?
noise, I don't know. I'm just shooting a number out there, but you even in your own home, you're like you can. It's new, so it's It's
well, you hear
safe.
You hear especially the first week. You hear all the creaks and the wind blows and the heater kicks on. You're like, what the hell is that? You're like, is somebody in there?
Yeah.
And you have to get up and you take yourself.
And then once you've been there a while, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
then
fine.
you're walking around in the dark naked looking for a glass of water.
It's true.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were there.
Yes, Joe. I come to your house every once in a while. Thank you for leaving the door unlocked. Well, anyways, I think that's a pretty good way to stop. Yeah, work against yourself. If I could say something, do stuff that makes you nervous. Do things that make you feel uncomfortable. Unless it's dangerous. I mean, I couldn't say
that's true.
bungee jump, but I always like to say, don't be a coward. And I think I say that because I feel it in myself.
Yeah.
That cowardice. You go, like before you get in the cold plunge, you go, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But don't be a coward. Be brave. And do stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable. Like us.
Like
and
we're doing
winners.
right now, yeah.
So thank you for watching this new episode. The non-casual, the business episode? What do you call this?
Sure. I don't know.
The business episode of Rennie and Doc, and we hope to see you. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Share it on the platforms, and we'll see you next time on Rennie and Doc.